Hi, I'm Lynn Wise, and with me today is Mark Fleming-Williams. Today we're going to be talking about the political fallout from the most recent terrorist attacks in Paris. So, Mark, these attacks, obviously they're going to have a big effect on the citizens of Europe and politically in Europe. What will that effect be?
I mean, it's interesting for us, for Stratfor, because at the moment we're working on our annual forecast for 2016. So we're already kind of looking ahead to what was likely to come next year. And some of the themes that we've been talking about, which we've already seen playing a large part in this 2015, were expected to continue into 2016. The interesting thing about these attacks is that they don't change any of those themes really in a great way. It's much more of an accelerator than a change of direction. So, for example, in terms of the political effect, we're kind of seeing a movement towards the right Germany and France is really what Europe's all about at the end of the day. So in Germany, we saw Angela Merkel, who's been trapped by this immigration crisis, has found herself tugged towards the right of the spectrum. This is what we're expecting going into 2016. And in France, we were already seeing a softening left of François Hollande's government. And we were expecting to see the centre-right and the far-right, Nicolas Sarkozy's Republican Party and Marine Le Pen's Front National Party. We're already expecting them to be strengthening. Again, this is the kind of thing. They're strong on security. They are Marine Le Pen specifically is very anti-immigration. These right parties are going to be strengthened by this latest event.
It sounds like we really have this conflation of security issues and immigration issues, and that will probably have widespread repercussions for all of Europe. We already see a closing of borders and much of Europe. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The closing of borders in Europe, as you say, has been a direct result of this immigration crisis. And again, that immigration crisis is kind of exacerbated by this latest attack. For example, if you start seeing fences being built between Schengen area countries, which hasn't happened yet, then this could seriously undermine this kind of freedom of movement within Europe, which is one of the four basic tenets of the European dream. So this could affect the entire European structure. But secondly, also, you've got to remember that these people are still coming. This flow is still continuing, and that's not stopping. We're still seeing kind of 8,000 immigrants crossing through the Balkans every day at the moment. And as you see that flow being constrained by more fences, and Slovenia last week began erecting its own fence as well, it hasn't completed the fence, and its stated intention before the attack was not to complete the fence. The plan was to control the flow rather than to stop it. But when you get things like this event, then potentially that shifts Slovenia's position, and potentially you may end up getting a full fence essentially between the Balkans and Europe, in which case you have all these immigrants who are then kind of trapped in the Balkans, which is itself a very unhealthy place for them to be, because the Balkans are poorer countries. They have histories of tensions between themselves. It's kind of it's a potential tinderbox.
The European leaders must realize that the situation that you were describing in the Balkans is really an unstable one. What are they doing to try to mitigate that threat?
Well, absolutely. I mean, to paraphrase Kissinger, unfortunately in geopolitics, there are no good choices, essentially. It's always a choice between evils. And as you say, they have this potential crisis in the Balkans, which may emerge, but they're also dealing with their own political situations within Europe as well. The solutions seem to be, to a large extent, being offered by countries such as Turkey and Russia, which Russia has offered to help potentially in Syria. Turkey may be able to patrol its borders better in order to stop the immigrants actually getting into the Balkans in the first place. There are solutions offered, but the problem comes and the question comes: what do these countries want in return? Russia is obviously currently negotiating with Europe in the Ukraine, and does Europe want to give anything in that negotiation? Turkey has long-standing desires to be a member of Europe and to have freedom of movement within Europe. So as a result of this crisis in Paris, we can expect them to start showing a little bit more leeway with these negotiating partners, because, as you say, it's now more important than ever to try and reduce that flow of immigrants, because it's causing these issues in what is now quite a raw continent.
Thank you, Mark. As you say, it seems like there's really very few good options and there's a lot of difficult decisions to be made. We'll be watching closely. For more on immigration and Europe, please visit stratfor.com.